Hello, and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy, and this is episode 39 of Tea Tuesday. It's been a super busy and full week, so let's go make our tea and then we'll sit down and spill the tea on all that's been going on in my life. Today for our tea, we're going to use my Royal Albert New Country Roses tea for one. And then when I was out at the bookstore the other day, they had this Harney and Sons was 25% off, so I grabbed this one and one other flavor. This is Victorian London Fog, and I've been wanting to try this one for a while, so that's what we're going to make today. Again, I made the London Fog tea. This is described as being a smooth black tea with bright citrus, sweet vanilla, and lavender. And I went ahead and I added a little bit of cream to my tea. So let's take a sip. It smells so good. You can smell the lavender, and it's just the tiniest hint of lavender. You get vanilla first, and then just a tiny, tiny whisper of lavender, which is absolutely beautiful. I don't mind a little bit stronger lavender in tea, but this is like the perfect blend with that just barely there hint. I love it. Harney and Sons is definitely my go-to tea brand. All my favorite teas are pretty much by them. All right, so it's been a big week, lots of things going on. The next week is going to be even busier. Work has been good. There were a couple days where work was crazy, not too bad. We had a couple days where software didn't work, so we didn't get to work right away, or we had days where someone called out and we were behind and we worked all 8 hours. And then yesterday, I'm finding that Saturdays are a great day to work. They're not too busy. She usually only has like 2 of us come in on Saturdays, which is perfect. And yesterday was awesome because there was hardly any phone calls. I did take quite a few, but all of our work was done by like 10:30. I finished my homework assignment because I took my laptop with me and got the whole thing done. I could have done more work yesterday, but I took the opportunity to continue to listen to the book that I am just so surprised about. It's so good. I was not expecting it to be as good as it is, but we'll talk more about that when we get to the book section. So that was fun. I just kind of sat and colored on my iPad and just had a relaxing day as far as work goes. I have discovered I have a huge pet peeve. I hate when people hang up on me. I get it. I understand it. You're upset, you're frustrated, you didn't get the answer you wanted, but it is just, to me, it just irks me. It just irks me. It's very, very rude. You can be upset. I can handle you being upset, but you can cuss me out and I'd be like, okay, whatever. But for whatever reason, when you just hang up on me, it gets me. And I've had a lot of those this week, but it's under special circumstances and it's not the norm. So yeah, that has been work. I do this coming week, have 7 days of work straight, and then I'm off for 2 days, and then I work 6 days straight right before Christmas. So that's going to be a lot. But I am going to be bringing back and forth my computer to work with me so that in downtimes I can get some stuff done, because this week I have a 7-page research paper to do. And I'm actually kind of excited about it. I spent a couple hours working through the class materials, which I will talk about with you guys in just a minute. I have some notes I want to share. And I'm excited about the process. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about part of this paper since week 1. thinking about what I want to do, how I want to implement things like that. Now that I've gone through more of the material, I'm having a better understanding. So my next thing is I've got to figure out my exact behavior health plan and for the 3 areas that I've selected and go from there. So for my big paper at the end of the term, I have to basically give an update on everything that I've learned and things like that. And it's in 2 parts, and and I have to revisit the paper that I do this week. So this week I have to talk about the 3 areas in my life that I want to make changes, create a behavioral health plan for those changes, and then I have to implement those changes and talk about those changes for the first couple of days. And then I have to do that again. I have to see how I have to carry on with that plan, which is fine because I was getting ready to make a bunch of changes anyway. Sorry, my clothes feel like they're attacking me today. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm getting into a lot of the nitty gritty. The first couple weeks is always kind of sort of like an introduction, like, hey, you're in school. Let's do this. Let's do that. Here's what to expect. Here's why plagiarism is important and things like that. And I always find those weeks rather difficult and boring to complete because I've done them so many different times now that it's just kind of monotonous. Not that it's not important, because it is definitely important, but I'm like putting off things to the very last second for the most part because I've done it. It feels like 1,000 times. It's really not 1,000 times. I've only done it maybe a dozen times through all my different classes, but it's to the point where it's just like, I'm tired of doing this assignment. Or a variation of this assignment, but that's done. So we're getting into the fun things this week. The first week we talked a little bit about fun things because it applied with us getting to start thinking about the projects that we have to do. Looked ahead to week 5. I have to do stuff on pain and pain journaling. So that I'm kind of excited about as well. So let's talk psychology of behavior. I'm really geeky about this subject. Just that's your warning. I'm really geeky about this subject. And I picked the perfect avenue for me because when I started learning just basic general psychology, I was attracted to behaviorism and behavioral type models. That spoke volumes to me. So it has been my first area of interest. And health behavior is allowing me to expand that into my passion for health and psychology. I never wanted to be a therapist. I want to make that clear. I never wanted to be a therapist. That was not what I wanted to do. I did not want to do therapy. It's not for me. It's not my thing. More power to those who do. That's fantastic. That's amazing. I didn't want to do that. So the 2 areas that interested me most were behavior and testing. Testing's kind of out the door because I'm not going for like a PhD type thing. And I'm not doing a program for that. I wanted to do for a while applied behavior analysis. I did a little bit of internship in a behavioral clinic and it was fun, but it still really just wasn't what I wanted to do. And that's because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to know what my journey was going to be. I had to get that further health piece connected to my story and to my journey, to be passionate about that, to figure out what I want to do. And the more I'm doing this program, the more I realize that this channel is extremely important to me. And it's extremely important to what I want to do and how I want to present it and how I want to be. And I 100% want to coach people. I want to help people apply these principles to their own lives, have them understand why they're important, and help them to make those changes and be their cheerleader, be their support system, be a rock star with them, cheer them on from the sidelines, but also tell them like, hey, this is what this is a plan we've created. Let's check in. Okay, you need a little bit of direction. So I want to be not just a cheerleader. I want to be someone that you can trust and you can rely on, who's not going to steer you wrong, but is also going to tell you straight, you need to work on this area. And that's what I want to do. That's I just it I am so excited about it because I am taking these principles and I didn't realize how many principles I've already applied to my life. And am I perfect? No, nope, nope, I am not. I have had so much stress and so much struggle this year that I definitely need to be the refocus. And now I get to implement all these strategies on myself to continue my health journey. And I can share about what I'm learning with you guys as well. You'll hear it a lot. People will talk about you need to have a support system. You need to have a good why. You need to have social connections and things like that. These are all important factors into changing behavior, and they are. They're critical. So, I learned about several different type of theories around health and behavior modification this week. I did not realize there were so many of them. And this does not mean that one theory is more right or more wrong. I think that each of them have things that are very important, very powerful, and an understanding. And I think that when you're going to change behavior, you should apply all avenues that are relevant. And that was really cool. So, one thing that I learned about was called the health belief model. And this deals with our brain power, our mental aspects, which I have learned in the past 2 years of this journey that this is the most important thing. If you're not right up here, if you don't get this part figured out and dealt with, you won't have the sticking power. You won't have the determination, the intrinsic ability to stick with your goals. Support is also very important, but that comes in later. Perception and people's perception of us affects our health journey as well. I know that that's not necessarily something that's talked about, mostly because I think that we believe, and I know I've believed in the past, that I should be able to fix my health on my own. I don't need all these other people. Um, and that's not true. I would like to say that people's perception of me doesn't affect how I view myself. But the truth of the matter is, it does affect me and it affects how I think, how I feel, because I do want the people who are most important in my life. Joe Schmo down the road, his perception doesn't matter to me. But those that are the closest to me and the most important to me, they're the people's whose opinions do matter. And I do want their support and their encouragement and things like that. So that was really cool to learn about that. So the health belief model was a model that explains how to help predict health related behaviors. So it starts off by saying that we have our perceived success. I cannot say this word. Success. Words are hard. There are some words that in the English language that I can just not pronounce, no matter how I try. I can read them. I know what they are in my head. Success. I can't say it. Success. Yeah. I apologize. I can't say that word. But we have to, we perceive our personal risk and we have to look at it like, do we think that we are success? I should just give, I can't say it. Susceptible. That is what I'm trying to say. Again, that word does not work with my mouth. It just does. I apologize. I own it. I can't say it. We also have to take in the perception of like our consequences. Like, so if trying to think of a good example of this. If a family member has a heart attack, we have an increased notion that this is likely that it could happen. There's the potentiality that it could happen to us. So we need to assess the risks and weigh the costs. Like, are we truly at it? Could we get a disease? And then, if we think that the likelihood is there, we are more likely to start wanting to desire to change our behavior. So, that was really cool to start learning about all those little key components. We need to have perceived benefits. Like, we don't do this just to do it and not get anything out of it. The benefits are our reward system, and we want those benefits. Like, if we're putting in this much effort and this much work to change our behaviors, it has to improve our behaviors. It has to improve our health, because we can't sustain it otherwise. So, and it talks, and then we go on and it talks about like sustainability, what our perceived barriers are, what are our challenges, because if those challenges are too much, we will not stick with our changes no matter how hard. So one thing I'm really starting to realize is, yes, we should have big goals. We should want to do bigger changes. But the way that bigger changes happen are actually starting small. Setting small, attainable, quick goals that you can achieve, and you can take that and then you can apply it to the next goal and the next one and the next one and the next one. So that by the time you hit this big goal, you've achieved many little successes all along the way. That keeps you sustainable. That keeps you going. You can't just start at point A and jump to point Z. It does not work that way. You will fail. You will not be successful. And I think in the grand scheme of things, especially when it comes to weight loss and our health, we tend to go, we're here, we want to be here, we don't care how we get there in the middle. We see one giant goal, yet we can't break it down into smaller pieces often. We're not self-aware enough, or we perceive that it's too hard or too big or something along the way. So one thing I know that I want to start applying, especially with my behavioral health plan for this class, is I will share this process with you. You'll see more of it through our little daily vlogs that I'm going to be doing. Well, you will see a daily vlog once a week. It'll be a 1-week compilation. I will be filming it daily. So I'm going to talk more about that. I'm going to talk more about what my goals are as I get them going, what my plan is, and how I'm enacting it. The first phase of my step one, which my step one is going to be, I'm going to work on my eating because it's been good, but I have areas where I can tweak. I need to get back to regular exercise. I have not done that. And I need to deal with stress. Stress is coming down. In some ways, job stress has significantly reduced since leaving Disney, and because my health has gotten better in regards to my hand, so that helped. And leaving Morgan & Morgan has also reduced a lot of other stress, and not having such a long commute has relieved some other stress. So my new job is the perfect job for right where I'm at right now. But I got to develop a plan for each of those areas. What I started today is I am documenting what I eat for 3 days. I know I talked about that I was going to do this for a couple weeks in last week's video, but because of the way this project is working, I'm making some tweaks so that I can still achieve my goals, but I can write about it right now as I'm doing it, as I'm applying it to my life. Because for me, I don't want to start something for this behavioral plan and then start over again in 5 weeks. I don't want to do that. I'd rather spend the time now, have a shorter time, and build on those goals overall through the coming weeks. And so that's what I'm working on. So I'm going to document everything that I'm eating or drinking in the next few days. I would imagine probably by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, I'll have my health plan done. The exercise one, I'm going to start small. Hopefully I can enact it today, but if I can't enact it today, I'm going to enact it tomorrow. My goal is 30 minutes of walking. It will increase from there, but I need to start small with 30 minutes of walking and consistently do that. Set my goal for how many days a week I want to do it, and I need to achieve it and sustain it. Then I can reevaluate it, and then I can add on to it. I can't just say, here's where I want to be with my exercise. Let's start there. That don't work. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to burn out. I'm going to not be able to sustain it. So again, you have to start small. Give yourself a small amount of time. Set that habit and then expand from there. You'll be more successful, and it'll be better for people to support you along the way too, because they will perceive what you are doing as healthy and sustainable most of the time, because there's always going to be perceptions, and people's perceptions are not always right, and they may not always agree. But if you say like, hey, my goal is to build muscle. Okay, how do you build muscle? If you've been sitting on the couch, you're going to start small. And if you're not used to walking big distances, then you can just make a plan that you're going to get up and you're going to move more around in your day. You need to meet yourself where you're at. You need to challenge yourself to do better by 1%. It's little increments. You get successful at that 1%, you add another 1%. And so on, and so on, and so on. And before you know it, you'll have succeeded all along the way onto your health journey, and you will have taken control. And you will be able to go, wow, I can't believe I started here and I got here. And it didn't take you as long as maybe you thought, because you didn't try to achieve that giant dream at the start. Just my thoughts based on what I know about my journey, what I know about my health. And yeah, I could probably talk about what I spent 2 hours learning this morning for probably about 2 hours. But we're not going to do that, because I do like to keep this podcast pretty short. And I'm out of tea already, but that's okay. Well, I have a tiny bit left in there. I like to keep it a reasonable amount of time, within an hour. And we're already closing in on that 30-minute mark. Okay. We're going to transition over to our Joyful Christmas giveaway, which go watch episode 37 and 38. Answer those questions. This week is episode 39. It's your third and final chance to enter into the drawing. You can comment on each and every video to get up to 3 entries into the drawing, which I will draw next week and give away. I have had so much fun putting together this little giveaway. And I will get it out, but I'll show you. In this box is a little tea for one. And I'm keeping the box because it's perfectly well situated in there. So I will take it out to show you, but I'm not going to like unwrap it or anything like that, because I want to make sure it arrives to you in the best condition possible. So the little teapot is still kind of wrapped, which is going to affect the way that it sits together. But I have found this little tea for one for you, because I know I enjoy my tea for ones, and I love the matching ability to have it. I think there's a lid in here. It is. It's up here. It's just upside down. So here's a closer look at the little plate. I tried to pick stuff that was fairly neutral as well. So that's the little plate. That's going to go back in. And then you have your cup. So very, very cute and pretty. I'm just putting it all back in the box, so it's all back in there. And then here's your teapot and lid. just need to actually put that in there upside down so it sits better. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's the first part, the first item. And then I found you a cute Christmas mug with a lid, which is great for keeping beverages hot. So you will get that as well. You can't have tea stuff without tea. So I am, for now, and I might add more to it, I'm going to send you 2 of the Christmas tea, 2 of the gingerbread joy, and 2 of the winter spice. Then I'm going to give you 2 packages of the brand new classic cake donut by Keto Chow, so you'll get those. And you're going to get 1 of each of the brand new flavors of salty to try. So if you haven't ordered them and wanting to try them, you will get those as well. Then you're going to get one of the Christmas books that I read and really enjoyed. So you get that one. And then you're also going to get this one because I read the back of the book on this one and realized this was not going to be a book for me, but it's still a brand new book. So you are going to get 2 books. That is a great little giveaway for you. And again, to do this week, the question you're going to answer is, what is your favorite Christmas movie? So let me know that down below in the comments. I didn't really grow up watching Christmas movies. I know I've talked about this. My best gift ever, it was not at actual Christmas that I got this. And I kind of vaguely remember getting this. And I definitely remember having her. So my mom got me one of the very first Cabbage Patch Kids. And it was a Cabbage Patch Preemie. I don't remember her name. I no longer have her. But I had her for many, many, many years. I had her up until I was a teenager. And she was bald. Because my mom said she got that one for me because I didn't have any hair till I was 3. Which kind of might explain why I don't really have any hair as an adult either. But all's good. I loved her. As far as Christmas movie goes, there's a lot that I like. I tend to watch a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies because they're cute and fun. I did watch one on the other week. It was a little cheesy, but I still enjoyed it. So yeah, let me know yours. I know Matt's favorite is A Christmas Story, and that one is pretty good, although I hated it until we got married. I thought it was ridiculous. I really liked, we always watched at Christmas time. It's not a Christmas movie, but we always watched it because it was always on PBS at the time of year. Anna Green Gables. And The Sound of Music. So I associate those with holiday time, even though they're not holiday movies. All right, let's transition into book talk because I haven't done any knitting because I forgot to take it with me to work. But I might remedy that this week. I might not, because my more important focus this week is not going to be on knitting. It's going to be getting that 7-page paper done. And I've got, like I said, I've got to work 7 days straight, so I have to take every opportunity that I can. I am currently only working on 1 book. I'm actually very sad that it is the 8th of December and I have not yet finished a book. I'm used to having read like 2 or 3 books by this point in the month. So I'm sad about it. I'm not upset. I understand that where I'm at in my situation, I'm still reading just probably as much as I was before, if not more. It's just all in research and things like that. And that's my priority, and that's okay. But I am working through this one that I'm listening to. This book surprised me. I did not expect to enjoy it. I have 2 hours left in the book. Let's see if I can figure out where I am at. I am actually very close to being done. Hang on. I am roughly at chapter 46. So I have just this little bit left to go. So I have consumed most of this book. There's trials, there's games, there's spice. It's not super spicy. It's not like overdone spice. But what spice is done in here is very well done. Very well done. I love the characters. The main character is just, she's strong. She's perceived as weak. People perceive her that way. She's perceived as strange and odd and weird and all those things that I identify with. And so I feel a nice connection with her. I did not expect to like it because it is paranormal and it deals with devils. And usually for me, that's a no-go. I'll be honest. Because I have DNF'd a book because it dealt with devils in a way that I did not like. I am enjoying that in here because they're mischief makers. They're represented accurately, and I can do that. But she is in love with a ghost. She hasn't admitted that she's in love with the ghost, and the ghost is in love with her. And just the whole story of her going through these trials has really gripped my attention, and I cannot put it down. This might end up being a 5-star book for me. And that's not a rating I give lightly. I do give a lot of 4-star ratings. I don't give, usually I won't give like 2-star ratings. As if it's going to be a 2-star read, I've already pitched it out. If I read a complete book and I don't like it, it's usually a 3. If I get through it and I was like, well, that was okay, it was fun, it was entertaining, it's usually like a 3.5. If I really enjoyed the book and I feel like it's a great story and I think that others would enjoy it, for me, you're about a 4. And go from there. I don't know yet if this is going to be a 5-star book, but it is feeling like a 5-star book right now. This is one of those books that I think is going to stick with me for a while, and I'm going to think about it for a while. It's really going to just, every time I think about it, I'm going to go, wow, that was a great book. And that's a 5-star book for me. So yeah. And then I did some book shopping this week. Not very much. Some of these were orders. But there's my books this week. The first book that came was the book of the month, which I still need to cancel because I am not happy with it. It's not for me. It's fine, but it's not for me. I have not enjoyed the suggestions in the past couple of months that they've given me. I feel like I've had to pardon me. I feel like I've had to select books that I've had to settle with. There was not anything that was really intriguing to me. I'm a mood reader, and that is important. I like what I like, and I consistently buy what I like. A lot of people do that. I don't mind being challenged to read something else. I've had people do that. I have found that I love fantasy romance, and I enjoy fantasy too. It's not my main genre though. My main genre is romance. Fantasy romance, dark romance, contemporary romance, historical romance. If it's romance, I love it. I'm a romance girl through and through. No apologies. I like spice. I like a little bit of smut. Most importantly, I love the love story. So it doesn't have to be spicy or smutty for me to enjoy it. I do enjoy those, but it doesn't have to be. I like the characters. I like their story of falling in love. That's what really sells me on a book. So yeah. So I've not been happy with the Book of the Month Club. Mostly I'm not happy because I said that I wanted to pause and they charged me anyway, and that's not cool. But this was the book I picked for December. I picked it because it was a holiday book. It said The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. I have no idea when I'm going to read it. I just wasn't that interested, but that's the one I picked. Last month's book, I kind of felt the same way. I picked what I thought was the most interesting one, even though it's not a typical genre for me. But I was intrigued enough to at least try. This month I was not impressed. Just not impressed. And then earlier this week I went out to Walmart and I saw this book pop up. It's a brand new release, and I've never read any of her books by Sarah Kate. I've heard she's very spicy. And one thing that I love is, as cheesy as they are, I love a good billionaire romance plot and trope. No apologies on it. I like what I like, as everybody else is allowed to like what they like. And if it's set in Scotland, I will almost always buy it. It's just what I like. So I buy it. This one is called Keep Me by Sarah Kate. And all I realized and all I read, it says, Killian Barclay is a grumpy Scottish billionaire who hates me, and now I'm his wife. Enough said. That right there on the front of the book is what showed me. I haven't even read the back of the book to know that I like it. So, and then this one came across TikTok, and it is a fantasy romance, and I'm really, really enjoying romances. I do like romance in my fantasy. I'm still working on learning to like fantasy without romance. I have several books. I just haven't got around to reading them yet. But this one is called The Last One, and it's got sprayed edges. So, of course, we already know that I had to get it. Then last night, I went to Barnes & Noble. Kind of had an idea what I wanted to go for, but I didn't specifically know. I just knew that I had a $20 credit that I wanted to use, and I did really good. So the first book that I saw was book 2 in a series that I got. So I grabbed it. I haven't read book 1 yet, but it's a romantasy, so I know that I'm most likely going to like it, so I did buy it. Then I've seen this one pop up, and I didn't know if I wanted to try it. I still don't know if I want to try it. But a gal at work said she really, really enjoyed it. She said there was not a lot of plot. It was just mostly spice. But sometimes you just want to escape. So we'll see. I was intrigued enough by her review of it to give it a shot. It's dark romance. It's called Does It Hurt? So we'll see. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but like I said, I was intrigued enough to give it a try. Then I really, really enjoy this next author's style of writing. I have read a couple of hers now, and I've started, but I didn't bring it over. Her Christmas book, I'm like 6 pages in, which is why I didn't bring it over, because I've had like no time to read it. Hopefully this evening I'll get some more time. But I'm really enjoying her books. So she's almost, at this point, an auto buy for me. So I really like her stuff. I got A Long Time Coming by Megan Quinn. This is part of like a series, and I have the first 2. So when I saw this one was actually there, I've been looking to get this one for a couple months now, but they haven't had it at Barnes & Noble. Well, they had it last night, so I grabbed it. And then this one popped up in my feed, and again, it was Scottish and looked cute. So I bought Under Lock and Key. It's romance, contemporary, stuff like that. So that is what I got as far as books. And like I said, it's going to be a big week for me. I have plant stuff. Oh, I should show you my new favorite plant. I got like 9 this week. But this one is my favorite out of all the ones that I got. And I've named her, which I'm still working on names for the others. This is Genevieve, and she is a Sigonium milk thistle, and she's got the light green leaves with the pink splashed on them. She's absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and she will eventually get into a bigger pot, and I will allow her to do a little bit of climbing. I got a Hoya this week and she's up there. I got an itty bitty tiny spider plant. Look how cute and tiny it is. And then I don't know that I can reach them. Yeah, I can reach some of them. And then I decided to try to learn to propagate plants. So I bought some cuttings. Hopefully they'll root. And the plan is to root them, let them grow, cut them, and create bushy plants. These are pothos. That's my plan. That's a long process. There's several different varieties in here, and I got 2 of these jars. Some of them had some roots started, but there were 8 varieties of pothos, and I'm really enjoying my pothos so far. I'm just trying to pull these up just a little bit. So yeah, we're going to try water propagating these, and hopefully in the next month to 6 weeks, I'll be able to transition and put some of these in some soil and let them grow. I think I really like this one right here because I like the variegation on the leaves. I am finding that any type of variegation on the leaves is really good. So if it's like stripes or pink splashes or just non-typical colors, I am really enjoying that. So I did get 2 of these. They have containers. I got packages of 8. So I have 16, or do I have 24? I might have 24. I didn't open the second box. I may not need it and I may return it. But they're for water propagating and they're plastic, which is great because then I don't have to worry about the dog trying to hurt them or not. So that is pretty much how this week has gone. I am going to go run and get some soil stuff because I am learning that plants do better if you put them in a chunky soil blend, and I've done research to figure out the best chunky soil blend that I can afford, and I'm going to make my own. So I'm going to make some of that, and then I have a couple plants that I want to replant because I think that some of the recent deaths in my plants have been because of root rot. I'm not over watering them, but the soil is staying too wet for too long. And I think that's playing a role. So I need to get some chunkier soil so that it helps retain moisture, but also is airy so that it doesn't hold on to it forever so that my plants can properly breathe. So I am definitely enjoying being a plant parent, and it's a learning experience. And I now have, if you count all my cuttings and not the cuttings that I still have coming, I still have cuttings coming, I am at 37 potential plants or potential plants. I have pretty much run out of room. I have plans for some things that luckily while I'm propagating things and they're still like growing, and I've got tiny itty bitty tiny ones that will grow and get bigger. And I'm learning that pot size is very important. Just because it fits in a bigger pot doesn't mean you should put it in a bigger pot unless you want to give it extra room to grow. So lots and lots, just enjoying life as it is as much as I can. Books and plants are my happy space. Psychology and learning about health is a happy space. So all in all, I cannot complain about the direction life is going right now. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful and joyful day, and we'll chat again next week. Bye for now.